Welcome to Agri-Economics and Extension by Anukriti. So if you're new to this channel, this is a channel where I'll be posting lecture videos on agriculture economics and extension. So if you find this channel useful, please do subscribe to the channel. Now, today let's discuss the topic what is demand, kinds of demands, what is law of demand. Graphically also I'll discussing it. Then types of goods. Under this come normal goods, luxury goods, Giffen goods, Veblen goods, etc. So without further ado, let's begin. The first topic is demand. So what is demand? We hear demand every now and then, like demand for this good. But what is demand? So demand is desire or willingness to buy a good. But this desire alone cannot form demand. Like you should have the ability to buy the good. So the demand should be effective. Means the consumer should be able to buy the good in terms of money. So desire or willingness for a good plus consumer's ability to buy the good forms demand. So this forms an effective demand. Now let's look at the definition of demand. Demand is defined as a schedule that shows the amount of product or service that a consumer are willing and able to purchase at a price in a set of possible prices during some specified time in specified market. So in short here, what the definition is trying to say, that it is willingness of a consumer to buy plus ability of the consumer to purchase a certain amount of good in the certain set of prices in a specified market. Okay, so demand is an effective desire. Okay, so remember this, demand is an effective desire. Therefore, desire plus ability are the key components of demand. Now there are two types of demand. First, it's autonomous demand and the second one is derived demand. And these are based on how the need is generated for these goods. Now, first is autonomous demand. So for this, take an example of food, clothing, shelter, mobile phones, etc. So the need is generated on their own. Okay. So these are the goods whose demand is not linked with the demand of other goods are supposed to be called autonomous demand, and the need is generated on their own sake is autonomous demand. And example is consumer good. For in this comes food, clothing, your cell phones, etc. comes under this autonomous demand. Then comes derived demand. So derived demand, the demand is related with demand of other goods. So we do not need these goods on their own. For example, take fertilizer, pesticides. We need it when we are doing agricultural practices only. So these are derived demand. So the goods are required to produce other goods have their derived demand. And a very important example is labor. Labor is derived demand. Okay. Now very important topic, that is kinds of demand. So there are three kinds of demand. First is price demand, then comes income demand, then comes gross demand. And these we study by keeping one factor only at a time, and then we see how much quantity is needed. So in price we take price, in income we take income, and in gross demand we consider other commodities. So let's look at price demand. So under price demand, it refers to various quantities of goods or services that a consumer is willing to purchase at all possible prices in a given market at a given point of time. Ceteris paribus. So here ceteris paribus means rest all factors are constant. So what is price demand is basically it finds the relation between the quantity demanded and the price. Then comes income demand. So in income demands, it refers to various quantity of good or services that a consumer would be willing to purchase at different level of income, and rest all factors are constant. So at various income, how much quantity a consumer is buying is income demand. And in gross demand, it refers to various quantity of goods or services that a consumer would be willing to purchase due to changes in price of related commodities. So here related commodities means substitutes or complements. So substitutes, like tea and coffee are substitutes, and complements, bread, butter are example of substitutes, complement. So in cross demand, we consider price of related commodity and all factors are constant. Then we find out how much quantity a consumer is buying. Law of demand. So it's a very famous law and it is applied almost everywhere in economy. So what happens is, it tells the functional relationship between the quantity demanded and its unit price. unit price here we are talking about. So what the law states that the quantity demanded is inversely related to price of goods. Okay, and here all the other factor except price is kept constant, means income, taste, preference, all are kept constant, only price is changing. Okay, so a rise in price of commodity causes contraction in demand, means the demand for the commodity decreases, and an increase and fall in price causes increase in demand, which is extension in demand. So this is basically what is law of demand. Now let's look at law of demand graphically. On x-axis we have commodity X, on y-axis we have its price, and the curve is downward sloping. Why? Because the relationship between price and the unit of commodity is inverse. Okay, so this is a demand curve. Now suppose at price 40, a person is consuming 10 units of commodity X. Now at 60 rupees, the same commodity, the unit purchased is only 6 units. So here we can see demand curve, which is downward sloping, and why? We were seeing with increase in price, the quantity demanded is decreasing. Now let's try to understand law of demand with help of an example. Suppose you're given 15 rupees and you are asked to buy some pens. So you go to market and the price of pen you found out is 3 rupees. So you can buy 5 pens from that 3 rupees. Okay. Now what happens is the price of commodity, the pen, increases and it increased to 5 rupees each. So how many pen you will buy? You can buy 3 pens, right? So here we can see when the price was 3, you could purchase only 5 pen. And when the price was 5 rupees, you purchased only 3 units. So here we can see price is increasing, commodity purchased is decreasing. We study 2 types of changes in demand curve. First, it's movement along the curve. That is, we are moving downwards or upward along the curve. And the second one is shift in demand curve. So let's look at movement along the demand curve first. It refers to change in the quantity demanded due to only change in price. So this is very important. So let's try to understand this graphically. Price is on the y-axis. This is a demand curve. On x-axis we have commodity. So suppose I buy 55 unit of commodity X at price 10. Now what happens is the price of the commodity decreases and it becomes 5 rupees per unit. Now how many commodity unit of commodity purchased? It's 75. So what we are here seeing is with decrease in price, there is an increase in commodity purchased. So we are moving downwards. This is called extension along the demand curve. Okay. So when we move downwards on the curve, it's extension along the demand curve. Now, if the price increases to 14 rupees, the commodity purchased is only 40 unit. So here we can see clearly that with increase in price, the commodity purchased is decreasing. So it is contraction along the demand curve and we are moving upwards. So remember, when we move downwards, it's extension. When we move upward, it's contraction. And let's look at the definition. Extension of demand means buying more quantity of commodity at lower price, and contraction means demand indicates buying less at higher price. So keep this in mind. Now, shift of demand curve. It refers to change in demand not due to change in price, but due to change in the value of other variables influencing demand. So here we are considering all the other factors except price. Price is kept constant and all the factors are changing. So this is shift in demand curve. And when there is a shift, it shifts from its original position. Either it goes to right or left. Now graphically, we have price of commodity. On the x-axis, we have quantity demanded. This is our original demand curve. And suppose the price is 120 rupees. The quantity demanded is 55, right? Now suppose the demand curve shifts to right. What is happening? At 120 rupees only, you are purchasing 75 unit of commodity. So here new demand curve is D2, D2, and we can see this is increase in demand because we are buying more quantity at same price. Now suppose the demand curve shifts to left. What will happen is the new demand curve is D1, D1, and the quantity purchased at 120 rupees now becomes 40 unit only. So here commodity purchased at same price is decreasing. So this is decrease in demand. Okay, so increase in demand is rightward, decrease in demand is leftward. So this is our shift in demand curve. Increase in demand curve means more demand at same price और सेम डिमांड एट हायर प्राइस, मतलब सेम प्राइस पे ज्यादा डिमांड हो रही है या फिर सेम डिमांड है बट प्राइसेस बढ़ जा रहा है. सो व्हाई डज दिस हैपन? सपोज सम कमोडिटी बिकम्स पॉपुलर, okay, it is trendy or fashionable, so what will happen? People will buy more of it at same price, okay, and decrease in demand means buying less demand at same price or same demand at lower price. मतलब प्राइस सेम है बट डिमांड कम हो जा रहा है, और या फिर डिमांड सेम है बट प्राइस बढ़ जा रहा है, लोअर हो जा रहा है, सॉरी. सो कॉमन एग्जांपल इज सपोज wired earphones. Now the price is the same, but the quantity demanded is less. Nobody is now preferring wired earphone. Everybody is now buying Bluetooth headphones. Okay. So this could be a good example for decrease in demand. So let's try to see what causes the shift in demand curve. So there are factors that affect shift in demand curve. First, it's taste or preference. Like I talked about the Bluetooth headphones, earphones. So what is happening is change in taste and preference of customers. Okay. Now another is habit, region, season, and customs. So habit, suppose if you are a book reader, you will always buy more quantity of books. Okay. Region also affect your demand shift. Now suppose you live in southern part of India, and for wooden clothing is less. Okay. Now season wise, in summer season we need fan, and in winter we demand more of heater. So it's a season based demand. Okay. Now custom, like in wedding seasons there is more demand of wedding planners and all. Now income also affect your demand. If you are having more income, then you will buy more quantity of goods, and if you have less income, you will buy less quantity of goods. Then price of substitutes and complement. Suppose I'm a coffee lover and there are two product companies. First is Nescafe and the second one is Brew. Now the price of Brew has decreased as compared to that of Nescafe. So obviously people will switch to Brew more. So this is due to change in price of substitute. Now similarly, change in price of complement. Now suppose if the prices of bread increases, then the demand for butter will decrease. Okay. So these are some of the factors that cause shift in demand curve. Of this video is types of goods. So there are many types of goods. There are economic goods, free goods. Now goods are also classified on the basis of transferability. Then there is producer goods, then consumer goods, necessary goods, comfort goods, normal goods, luxury goods, inferior goods. Then very important, that is Giffen goods, Veblen or snob goods. So let's try to understand what are these one by one. First is economic good, then free goods. So economic goods, these are the goods which are produced by human efforts and purchased at given price. So every good that we see is normally economic good, and the supply for goods is less than the demand. So demand is more, but supply is less. So these goods have value in use and also value of exchange. An example is machine, furniture, etc. Free goods are the free gift of nature, and supply is more than demand, and we have very less free goods, right? And they have only value in use because they haven't been exploited in such a way that they'll have value in exchange. For example, it's sunshine, air, rainfall. So these are free good. There is no value to them, but they have value in use. Okay. Now, classification based on transferability. So goods are either material or non-material, as we know. First, they are classified into material and non-material. So they can be material like machines, buildings, etc., or non-material like intelligence, quality, etc. Now, material are further classified into transferable, and non-material also classified into transferable. So in material comes land, building, furniture, and in non-material comes patent. So remember, patent copyrights are transferable non-material goods. Goodwill of a business is also transferable. You can transfer a patent or copyright, right? Now material goods are also non-transferable. In non-transferable comes degree, certificate, license. You cannot transfer or exchange them for value. They have value with you only. Then comes in non-material also, some are non-transferable, like friendship, courage, intelligence, quality. You cannot transfer them. They have no value in exchange. So among these example, patent, copyright is important, that they are transferable and non-material. And also degree, license are material and non-transferable. So these were based on transferability. Now comes necessity goods and comfort goods. Necessary are goods which are needed for basic human existence, like roti, kapra, makan is necessary goods. Electricity now also comes in necessary goods, okay? But necessity is a subjective term. Like for an example, airplane tickets are luxury for common people, like middle class people, but it is a necessity for your rich businessmen who have to travel day to day. Now, comfort. Comfort are goods which is not necessity but gives enjoyment or increases your utility. Now, example, you can say comfort comes Netflix subscription or your Zomato delivery. All these are comfort. So a comfort may become a luxury. Now comes consumer goods and producer goods. So consumer goods are those goods which directly derives the satisfaction using the goods. So consumer here deriving satisfaction directly, and it is also called first order good. So here the satisfaction is derived directly. You need not to change the form of good. For example, food, cosmetics, clothes, books, pen, etc. or the consumer goods. Producer goods are the goods which help other goods to become useful. And producer goods can be used both by consumer producer, but they do not give direct satisfaction, like machines, factory buildings, raw material, etc. They are used to form other goods. So these are producer goods and can be used by consumer and producer both. Okay. Now a producer good can become a consumer good. For example, electricity is a very classic example for this. Electricity, when used at home, is a consumer good, but when used in industry, it's a producer goods. Now, normal good. Normal goods means an increase in income causes an increase in demand. So this is what normally happens. So therefore, the term is normal good. जैसे ही हमारी income बढ़ती है, हमारी need उस good के लिए बढ़ जाती है. So this is normal good. And an example could be ordinary broadband, ordinary TV, or holiday to somewhere. So when your income is increasing, you will plan holidays. Okay, so these are normal goods. Now graphically, we can see that on y-axis we have income. So we are talking in relation to income. So the demand curve for this is upward. Why? Because they have direct relationship with income. So income is increasing, my demand is also increasing for the product. So this is normal good. Income elasticity of demand is greater than 0. Okay. Now luxury good. Luxury good means an increase in income causes a bigger percentage in increase in demand. It means that the income elasticity of demand is greater than 1. For example, the HD TV would be a luxury. When income rises, people spend a higher percentage of their income on luxury. Therefore, the elasticity in demand curve, income elasticity in demand curve is greater than 1. मतलब पहले मेरा इनकम 50,000 था और 10,000 की टीवी ले रहे थे, बट नाउ माई इनकम हैज इंक्रीज टू 2 lakh rupees and now I'm buying 1 lakh TV. So here we can see it is consuming more amount of your income, right? Now for example comes super fast broadband, organic luxury coffee now you're taking, consuming, then Netflix, TV, etc. are example of luxury goods. Now you can see the demand curve is somewhat flat and the elasticity is greater than 1. Also there is an important point is that a luxury good is also a normal good, but a normal good isn't necessarily a luxury good. Means a luxury good can be a normal good for some person, but a normal good cannot be a luxury. Then another type of good is inferior goods. Inferior goods means increase in income causes fall in demand. Income बढ़ रहा है, but दो प्रोडक्ट का जो डिमांड है वो कम हो रहा है. सो इसमें ऐसी चीजें आएंगी जो कि बहुत सस्ती होती हैं एंड चीप होती हैं, लाइक नॉर्मल ब्रेड हो गया. तो ये सब अगर मेरी इनकम बढ़ गई, सो आई विल बाय more of organic bread like brown bread and all of these. Example is local brand coffee, bus travel, your day out at the theme park. So these are inferior goods. Graphically, on the x-axis we have quantity of commodity, on y-axis we have income, and the curve is downward sloping because income बढ़ रहा है and quantity demand is decreasing. Now a very confusing good, that is Giffen good. Giffen good, do remember that it's a type of inferior good, but it has no close substitute like rice, wheat, your wheat bread, then your potato. These are your Giffen goods. Okay, these are inferior but have no substitute, and it forms a major part of your income. So what is happening here is that income is fixed and consumption of wheat or rice is fixed due to lack of any substitute. Okay, so in case of a poor person, if the price of rice increases, तो rice तो fixed है, but the income left to buy any other expensive good now decreases. So what will happen? A person will buy more of rice because पेट तो भरना है. So they will buy more of rice and won't buy any other expensive good. So this is an example of your Giffen good. So example there is rice, potato, bread. So there is also an important point that all Giffen goods are an inferior good, that all inferior goods are not Giffen good. Okay. Now comes Veblen good. Veblen good या snob good when this also does not follow law of demand. So with increase in price, people are more encouraged to buy more of it. Okay. Example is gold, your diamond, your branded shoes, watches, branded car, etc. comes in Veblen या snob good. More expensive it is, the more people want. Okay. Thank you for watching the video till the end. If you find these videos useful, then please do like, comment, share, and also subscribe to the channel. And do press the notification bell so that you don't miss any update. See you in the next video.